Hello, everyone. Welcome to Tangle Time Arts. My name is Nana Heron, and I'm a certified Zentangle teacher. And today we're going to look at Inktober Tangles Day 18. Wow, we're just sailing right along here. And Day 18 brings us, if you look at your packet, it brings us Halofoil by Ildica Boyd, CZT. And it features these lovely Muka-like shapes. So if you're a fan of Muka, this tangle is definitely for you. And because it has kind of a botanical feel to it, my inspiration for today is going to be mushrooms. So we'll play around with that. If you haven't gotten your handout yet, you can check the description and you can still get the download. This is put together by Stephanie Jennifer, and she does an awesome job. It's a lot of work. So big shout out to her. All right. Let's just use some very basic tools today. We have a white tile, a black pen, a pencil, a tortillon. I do have a red pen as well. And I also have some colored pencils, just a basic 12 pack, because we might use some of these colors as well. But color's optional as always. But a lot of times, especially this month, I like to add in a pop of color. All right. So we're going to start just right off the bat with our halo foil. And I'm going to do something a little differently and kind of start in the center, but I'm just kind of guesstimating. Um, and halo foil starts with a wonderful C curve. So I'm going to kind of orient my tile so that I want my shapes to go into the corners. And I'm just going to put in a C curve like that. Once I have that in, I'm going to finish off the ends with these nice rounded kind of bulb-like shapes. But it's also, if you think about it, it's another C curve. And then in the step out, she goes straight into another Mooka-like shape and kind of stop before you get to the center there. And we do that on the same side, the other side too, the same thing. So we aura this shape a little bit and then come back in with another Muka-like shape. And then I'm just going to bring this straight out to the corner on both sides. And when I get kind of to the end, I'm going to turn that out. We're going to be doing 4 of these all the way around, but not in the round. So I'm going to turn this over to the other side, and I'm going to make another one. So start with the C shape. And if you're wondering like how long this is, it's kind of like to the first bend of my thumb, or on my cap here, it's a little longer than the cap. All right. If it's easier for you once you get the C curve, you could turn it around and do your Muka shapes this way. So make another C shape. We've got this nice round bulb on the end. Bring that in, aura this line for a little bit, and then make another Muka shape. Come towards the center, but stop. And then we'll do the same here. Another Muka shape and come back in. And then I'm going to extend that all the way towards the corner and stop. Rotate back around and bring that out. All right, so now we've got two of them in there, and I'm going to fit in another one here. Like I said, if it's easier for you to draw it this way, you can always rotate and finish it this way. It just depends on what you're comfortable with. And at this point, I'm going to connect these. Like that. And then I'm going to draw one more so we have something in this corner as well. Connect there, round that off, and connect there. So we have four just kind of randomly in there. They don't have to be centered because we're going to add some more Muka shapes. So to me, these kind of remind me of little mushrooms. And that's when in a few minutes we'll add a little detail in there. But for right now, I'm going to just add some more Muka shapes in these areas. So coming off of this line here, I'm just going to put in a Muka shape. I think I'll go all the way to the end there. And then I'll put in another one. I'm kind of going to nest these. Like that. I'm going to do the same on the other side. Maybe I can come up a little higher. Oh, I have some extra Muka shapes in there, Muka-like shapes. I'm going to flip over to the other side. I'm always working on the opposites, trying to keep it symmetrical. But it doesn't have to be exactly the same. Okay, and then let's go with this one. Like that. And then for these two, instead of starting on the inside, let's start on the outside. Just to be a little different. Do the same over on the opposite side. So now we have our our basic halofoil tangles filled in with some additional Muka-like shapes. I'm going to switch out my black pen for my red pen, and because these remind me of little mushrooms, I am actually going to add some spots to this area just for fun. This is optional. You don't have to do this part if you don't like to. And I'm going with red because I like the playful red color of it. Your spots can be different sizes, and just randomly kind of fit them in wherever you feel like a spot would go. So there, it's really like half an orb, or kind of like when we start crescent moon, like that. I'm not sure why mushrooms have been popping up in my conversations lately, but maybe they're kind of trending. I don't know. But people have been mentioning mushroom hunting and things like that. And in my nature journaling, I did a spread on the on mushrooms, which was really cute too. But those were more naturalistic, and this is more whimsical. I think if we were going for more naturalistic, I would have left the spots white and then inked in the rest of the little shapes here, but I just felt like the spots should be red. And my red pen is an 05, so it's it's a little thicker than than some of the black pens, so it goes pretty quickly. And we just have one more left here. Let's start over here. I'll go back and add a little color there. All right, once you have those inked in, we can take our colored pencils and I feel like these, to me, these Muka shapes are more like leaves. So I am going to take my greens and maybe a yellow. So let's start with a larger area here. We have this one, and I'm just going to lightly add in the this is just green. So if you're using Crayola, this is just green. And I'm going to press add a little pressure down on the stem area here. And the one inside I'm going to leave pretty light because I feel like that's like a new sprout and that would be lighter. All right, let's do the same on this side. Very lightly in the bulb area. Come around here. And then start adding some pressure. Go to the opposite side. And for this tangle, if you download the handout and click on the link, this one has an interesting story behind it, so be sure to check that out. All right, we'll go to this one. These leaves are a little smaller. All right, now we can layer in some other colors. So I have the yellow green, which I'm going to add a little pressure to the bulb area and then come back into the green area and just kind of blend that in. So you have a nice blending together of these greens, and then it goes into the darker green. Don't be afraid to try different combinations of greens and yellows. Even maybe add a little white if you'd like to, and just see what how many different types of greens you can end up with. This goes pretty quickly. And then I do have the yellow um, pencil as well, because I feel like these smaller ones would be a little more pale because they're like new sprouts. I add a little yellow to these bulb areas. So some areas have three layers of color, and it becomes much more saturated. But you can actually see the variation in color, which I like a lot. All right, so once we've done that, I think I would like to go back in and add a few orbs just here and there. And this is optional. But in some of these spaces, I just think it would be cute to add some orbs. And then I go back in and fill in these spaces here. And the spaces get pretty tiny. So your little orbs, which in this case is Tipple, are going to be different sizes to fill in the space. But I usually start with some that are a little larger, and then I fill in the smaller ones. And then if you have little spaces like here, then I fill those in. Like that. Once we get this done, we'll do a little shading. Some areas get more than others, and that's just due to space that may or may not be available. There's no real rule about how many you need to add in there. It's just whatever you feel like doing, and you might not even want any of these in there. There we go. So we have that kind of filled in. Another thing you could have done if you wanted would have been little stripes, but often I will go with the tipple instead. All right, now we're going to do a little bit of shading. So I'm just going to shade in these areas around our tangles. And I'm just adding a very light layer of graphite. I don't want too much. And just a reminder that you can always add more, but if you add too much from the beginning, sometimes it ends up a little bit too dark, and you can't really go back. It's just, it's like life. You can't really go back. So with graphite, use a little caution and go in lighter to start. All right, then we can take our tortillon and we'll just do some blending wherever there is graphite. Just give it that nice smooth look. Just enjoy the process. I love hearing that scratchiness of the tortillon on the paper. And the thought did occur to me that instead of shading, you could have gone in with a colored pencil instead, like maybe choose something like a blue and you could have colored this instead of gone in with the shading, but I like to follow the traditional way and add shading. I think we made it all the way around. So we have our cute, oops, going off the screen there, sorry. So we have our cute little, to me, they look like mushrooms. We added some Muka um, leaves and some tipple in there. You could even add some more tipple in these areas if you'd like. But I'm going to stop at that because I think it's super cute. Let's add our initials somewhere. So I'm going to rotate around and just see where I would like to add my initials. I'm thinking I'm just going to tuck them in right here. Like that. All right. Cute. A little different. But that's the whole point of Inktober Tangles is trying different things and seeing which are your favorites. All right, so this is my take on Halofoil. There's so many things you could do with this tangle. A lot of these tangles are so versatile. So you can play around with them and make them your own. Um, all right, let's fill this out. I like to put my name. Oh, I'm gonna need a new pen pretty soon. So 10, 18, 24. So we are on day number 18, Inktober Tangles 2024. And this is Halo, Halo foil by, I want to make sure I spell her name right, by Ildica, Ildica Boyd, CZT. Thank you, Ildica, and thank you, Stephanie, Jennifer. Um, so yeah, our cute little inspired by the forest with mushrooms and greenery. Play around with it, uh, try different things, have fun with it. Um, that's I think the most important thing is to have fun with these. Um, all right, I will see you tomorrow for Bunzo Day 19. And that's another very organic tangle, sorry. So we'll see what we can do with Bunzo and play around with that. I don't know, maybe I'll combine it with day 20. I'll have to think about that. All right, have a great day and be well, stay safe, and I love you guys. You guys are amazing. See you tomorrow.